Welcome back to part 2 of building a dragon. Today we're going to be working on the wings. Wings are really simple to build, so this shouldn't be that long of a video. This is where we left off last time. We had the whole body of the dragon built, which is looking really nice. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. Okay, so starting off, you're going to want to have your base prim, so the primitive where you want the wing to start. I have mine right above the front arms. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a cylinder, not too thick, but you're going to want to put it up like diagonally from the body. This would be where the wing starts. And then have a second cylinder, not too big, a little bit smaller than the last one, and have it going on top. And then you want to add another cylinder. This is going to be a lot of cylinders, by the way, guys. And then you're going to want to have it go in the opposite direction. And it should look something like this. And then you're going to have another cylinder to extend it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the opposite direction again, just like that. So it's kind of like a lightning bolt sort of shape. With that, that is the last time you're going to need to turn it like that. Now you're just going to want to extend the wing by resizing it down slowly but surely, little bit by little bit. And make sure the turns are not that drastic. So if you look at that, that's what it should be like going the whole way around. Now it's a different story if you wanted the wings to be open. If you wanted the wings to be open, you're going to want to make them really last out. So don't bend it as much. Just keep it slight little turns in the wing. But because we are building this with closed wings, we're gonna do it something like this. You guys will have to choose yourself when you want to stop the wing from going that low. I think that's a good length for my wing, but choosing the length of the wing is all down to you. So if you see how I've resized them down, not too much, but enough, that's what it should look like. Now what we're going to do is we're going to copy this onto the other side, which is just building the same thing. Pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to skip to the part where we have two sides built. So here we are, we have two sides of the wings built. You don't have to have them exactly the same because, you know, dragons are real creatures. Well, mythical creatures, so I'd say. So not everything's the same. Now we're going to start on the middle wing. The middle arms, I'm sorry. Inside the wing, there's two middle arms. So basically all you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a smaller primitive than the ones there. And then it's just the same thing with the first part. You're just going to keep extending it and extending it. But this time, you're not going to want to have it match how long it is. You're going to want to have it stop a lot sooner. That way you'll have the curve of the wing. So I'd stop it right about there. Yeah, I'm gonna stop it there, right there. So you can see that they don't match up. They're not the same length, which is not what you want. You do not want them to be the same length, otherwise you're not gonna have a good looking wing. They're gonna look like squares. And then it's just the same thing. You're just gonna have another one there. Do the same exact thing. There's a lot of copy and pasting with wings. That's why they need the copy and paste tool in this game, but they don't have it yet. Okay, so I'm going to skip to the part where both wings have the arms in the middle. If you guys do need an extra video on how to do this more, in depth, I will gladly post another video for you guys. But for now, I'm just going to skip to the next part. And there you go. Both wings have now got arms in the middle of them. Some people like skeleton dragons. I like skeleton dragons. What you could do with the skeleton dragons, just leave it like this. You wouldn't need to add the inside of the wing. But for this build, we're going to add the flaps, you could call them. To do this, we're going to be using the square primitive. We're just going to size it down to as small as it can go in depth-wise. And it's just really filling in the wing. That's all it is. But what I will say is when you get to the end of the wing, you're going to be using the triangles, which you'll see here in a second once I finish this wing. You're going to be using triangles to make it look more flush and fill it in a lot better. I'd also like to point out, while I have the time, that I do use a voice changer. I'm not a 13-year-old kid, but I only use a voice changer because I just don't like my own voice. I don't like listening to my own voice. So when I watch back my YouTube videos, I'm not cringing as hard as I would be. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the only reason I use a voice changer. Alright, so now that I'm going to show you with the triangle primitives. This can be difficult for some people. If you are building a wing that's extended, the triangles are going to be extended. So, yeah. Okay, so now you can see right there how I have built the triangle. There is a little gap. I didn't notice that first. That's what my editor noticed. My recorder, Flobby. But all you're going to do is use the triangles and just fill in the spots so they go all the way up to the end of the arms. And that way it's curved and it's not blocky. And it looks nice and flush and clean. But with the bottom arm, you're going to have a extra big triangle, we could say. That triangle is going to last from right there, just like that. That is it. That is pretty much the wing. Now we're going to build a connection from the wing to the body. Let me just get my cameraman over there. Alright, so building the connection can be hard because you need to establish the rotation and make sure it's perfect. Not perfect, but as good as you can get it. So as you'll see here in a second, when my cameraman turns his head around, just like that, perfect. There's a square that is turned, but it's connecting the wing to the body. And then that's basically it. What I done as well, you don't need to do this, but just to give that extra bit of detail, there's a primitive that's like a perfectly, I'll put it on the screen, okay, it's right there. That primitive is what I'm going to be using against the square, and it's just gonna make it look a lot nicer and a lot more skin-like. Okay, so right here, I'll place it down, boom. If you look, it's got a slight curve to it, and it just looks more realistic, and I really like how that looks. So yeah, I just done that, but on the other side. Right, like the other times though, I'm going to cut out me building the other side because it just takes too long. And you really don't need to see it because you've already done it on one side. And it's just doing it on the other. So, I'll see you once I have both of the wings filled in. Okay, so now that I have both the wings filled in, we're going to be working on the end of the arms. And all we're really going to do there is add a cone. And a cone, just like that. It's just like a spike on the end. Instead of having like a flat base, we're just going to have a cone, and it looks nicer. On the other side, boom, there's a cone. Just like that. And now all we're going to do is color in. Now coloring in is all left down to you. This is just my color scheme I'm using. You guys can use whatever you want. At the end of this video, I will put some examples of other dragons I've built for YouTubers and for myself and everything. I'll put other dragons I've built and different color schemes that I've used. But this dragon, I want to go for like a sky sailor, like goldish kind of color. But it's up to you what you guys use. So once I've had this all colored in, I'll be right back with you. And there you have it. Both wings have now been colored in and they're looking very nice. If you guys have enjoyed building this dragon so far, please go down and leave a like and maybe subscribe. But I will tell you now, the next part 3, is going to be the hardest part because we're going to be building the arms and legs. So I will try and tell you guys as much as I can, but that's all I can do. I can show you and tell you. But I hope you enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Goodbye.